My greatest fears of leaving university and what to look for in a job, I think, was mentorship. I think coming out of uni, you have so much support in uni. I was worried that I was going to come out, be chucked into a clinic room by myself and have to manage it.
My greatest fear about leaving university to find a job was that I would be all on my own. I wouldn't have anybody over my shoulder to double check anything with or to consult anything with. So yeah, it was pretty scary just to be out there because you've got the theory but really not enough practice.
I guess my greatest fears when leaving university was starting a job and just being thrown in the deep end and seeing patients back to back and difficult patients and not knowing what I was doing completely.
My greatest fears leaving university to find a job. Well, I was moving a long way from home. I was afraid of leaving my family. I was afraid of starting a job that specialised in an area I didn't feel terribly confident in.
So the university trained well and that they gave us all the basics and all the information that we need to start off.
The ways that I felt unprepared in starting my podiatry career would probably be lack of experience, not getting enough experience, dealing with different cases and things like that.
The areas I felt unprepared for coming out of uni, I guess, was a lot of solo work. I guess in the clinic, you do a lot of partner work. It's very closely supervised, so there's not a lot of independent work. So coming out of that straight into clinical practice, I think I was worried about that.
A way I didn't feel as prepared. I didn't know how to apply a lot of it. You get taught a lot of it, but walking into a new grad position, it's all about learning how to apply what you've learnt. Definitely knowing how to see a foot pain patient and knowing where do I use all that information that I've learnt and how to apply it to a real life patient and a real life situation.
My number one priority for looking for a job after uni was I going to get the support I needed? Was I going to see a vast range of patients? I didn't want to see my first year seeing generals. And also, was it in a place that I wanted to live?
My number one priority when looking for a job would be getting a good mentor, like someone who's able to guide me through the initial stages of my podiatry career. So the other things that I was looking for in my first job as a podiatrist would probably be a good team work environment.
Things that I looked for, other than from learning to develop clinician skills, was, I guess, the team culture in a workplace, which would kind of value things that would make you enjoy work.
When I was looking for a job after university, my number one priority was that it needed to be something that I was going to enjoy doing. That was super, super important because I know what kind of person I am, and if it's something I'm not going to enjoy and have that passion to do, I won't be able to follow it through as well.
I think the main thing I was looking for was a good team environment. I didn't want to be just by myself in the clinic. I really wanted the support around me.
My first priority was it had to be a supportive position. So I was quite happy to go anywhere. I was happy to move away from home and have an adventure. But the one thing I knew I absolutely had to have was really good support. Just knowing that I wasn't going to be doing it alone on my own as a new grad, that was my number one.
So my thoughts when I saw the internship for this position, I was like, I just wanted to jump at the chance of it because what it offered is what I needed. So it offered, a good internship process with mentoring.
My initial thoughts when I saw the job advertisements was it looked like a pretty fun place to work. One of the things that I definitely remember was Phil brings in Mexican food. It was either Mondays or Sunday. I found that pretty funny. It was just an indicator of like everyone there is not too serious, but of course serious when working, but laid back, and it's just a good environment to work with.
So my first thoughts when I saw the advertisement was that it seemed, like a really structured program. I think I was a little scared of like the whole 2-year commitment, but at the end of the day, like, you start a career, 2 years is not much in the whole big scheme of things. So yeah, it was really good to have the support over the 2 years going forward too.
I had no qualms about moving Mackay. That's where I grew up. But if you're not from Mackay, you're thinking beach, you're thinking rainforest. If you like camping, fishing, being in the great outdoors, there's no better place than Mackay. It's also small enough that you get to know the area quite quickly, but big enough that you've got all the shops, restaurants, dining facilities, cinemas, anything you need is in that area.
Yeah, Mackay's a great place to live. Well, I didn't really have any concern about location. I'd already moved 10 hours away from home to go to university, so I guess moving to Mackay was no big deal for me either.
So living in Mackay, I found it's been pretty nice actually. It's a nice change from Western Sydney, so it is quieter, but I prefer the quiet. People here are also friendly as well, so not only staff that I work with, but like other people that I've gotten to meet as well.
So coming from Newcastle, I had all my family back in Newcastle. I had my partner, which is now my husband, back in Newcastle. So I had lots of family that I did want to come back and visit all the time. I basically would just catch flights all the time. There's always flights going Newcastle, Sydney through to Brisbane and then Mackay. The position allowed me enough flexibility to come home. And then allowed me to take some time off if I had family coming up to visit me as well. So that was a real blessing. It was very flexible, but very manageable. I was flying quite often, so they definitely are affordable. But yeah, definitely easy enough to get to and from Mackay for anyone that you want to be visiting or staying in contact with.
Always being a city girl, when I found out that the job was in Mackay, I wasn't sure what to think. I knew I had to come and check it out and see what it was about. But it's in the Sunshine State and I love the warmer weather. It's very consistent and it actually showed me something very different, like in the way that it's a much slower pace of life, there's a good work-life balance. And everyone's super, super friendly, unlike some of the city where it's just very crowded. And working here also means that you feel a bit more part of the community instead of just being another number in a huge city where you're competing with lots of other practices. Here, there's very few, but word gets around, and once people are familiar with you, they get to know you and they're like, oh yeah, they'll recommend you.
Being part of the Pioneer Podiatry team, I found it really fun. I actually looked forward to going to work every day.
I guess everyone's just there for each other. No one's left behind, and we're always ready to support each other if we need a hand. And just really cool people to work with too.
To be part of the Pioneer Podiatry group comes from a lot of work. I think Phil has created an environment that you love to work in.
Being part of Pioneer Podiatry has been one of the best jobs I've ever had. Everyone's together, it's just like being part of a big family. We just all have a good time, we all pull together when we need to. It's just enjoyment. There's a lot of support as well from Phil or from the colleagues. Everyone's just really helpful.
One of the values that we had up there is togetherness. Because I was moving so far away from home, it was really, really great to feel like you guys were my family in Mackay. So I knew that I had people I could turn to for advice. I had people who could help me out when I needed help. And because you guys are such a young team as well, so having that value of togetherness, it meant that you always had someone had your back at all times.
What it's been like being here at Pioneer Podiatry, it's been awesome. I think it's just because the team here, everyone's personalities are different, so it gives off like an easygoing and a fun vibe as well. But that's what makes us like a pretty cool bunch to hang out with. So
I think with the internship in your first year, it's all about support, mentoring, and progression. So I think it's important to know that you're going to be supported while you're in the clinic, but also progress, because if you come out of uni and stick with the knowledge and the practical skills that you learned there, you're not going to grow as an employee and as a podiatrist.
The difference that this internship made to my career, I was able to see the entire spectrum of podiatry. I've had enough exposure. I'll be able to make a good clinical judgment of something that is unfamiliar or something that I haven't seen before. Another thing that the internship allowed me to do was to break out of my comfort zone, working with physios, chiropractors and GPs, even like networking every now and then. That was valuable as well.
So the way that the internship structure has helped me, it's allowed me to grow as a podiatrist and to get the skills. I didn't feel like I was being chucked into the deep end with the internship. I felt like that I was it was a gradual type of development of skills and clinical experience.
So I guess, yeah, the internship program was really good in that I was really like eased into the job. I wasn't seeing patients all day, every day start up. It was a nice gradual start, and having the support as well whenever I had questions or concerns, and I was able to, I guess, progress to the next phase. When I was ready, I didn't feel like I was rushed at all. At first, it was a lot of, I guess, observation when you're still learning a lot of the clinical stuff, what goes on behind the background. Once you get your head around that, then it was some joint consults with the clinical mentor, and then having your own appointments as well throughout the whole process. So there's, I guess, one-on-one time with the clinical mentor, and always, support when you need to. It's not everything's just a question away, really.
It was very, very straightforward and very, very simple, and it allowed us to take our time in getting confident. We were never thrown in the deep end. We had 2 weeks where we just shadowed, we just watched, we just observed, we listened to how they would interact with patients, we watched how they would apply all of their knowledge to real life patients, and basically just allowed all that information to just sink in. For the next month or two after that, we would be seeing our own patients, but once a week we would be watching and observing 1 day a week, more just the trickier patients, I believe it was, to just help transition us into that stage. Once we felt we were more confident in seeing our own patients, that 1 day a week that was shadowing turned into a day that we could book in tricky patients that we were seeing that we felt we needed more help with. We were able to book those patients in on that 1 day, and we would do joint consults. So basically, once that would continue on until we felt ready to basically tackle the more complex, more interesting, I guess, harder, more challenging patients on our own, knowing still that we still had the opportunity to call fill-in or do a joint consult with one of the other podiatrists if we still had a tricky patient that we felt we just needed more help with. Took advantage of that through the whole 2 years that I was there. There was still patients that you would still have tricky, that was still a tricky situation, and we could call on another podiatrist to come and help us out if we needed to. So you were never totally on your own. You could see patients on your own and be your own podiatrist, but you still had that help outside the door.
The mentoring process has really helped me drive me in the direction that I wanted to be in, which was basically trying to do more musculoskeletal work, focusing on foot pain, just working with really cool equipment and treatment options that we can provide for patients that you can't get elsewhere. Yeah, I've had a lot of support, a lot of patience until I know that I felt confident enough, and there's always been some help and support there if I've ever needed it.
So I think internships really helped me start my career in that. I guess when I started, I was really quite unsure, not confident, but just over time, having support, learning new skills, I've just grown in confidence, and now I feel like I can see just about any sort of patient and have confidence that I can come up with a good treatment plan for them.
So the difference that the internship has made to the start of my career is that it's given me a good platform to sharpen my clinical skills, and also it's given me the confidence, I reckon, to be a good podiatrist. Yeah, it's just really helped me to grow in that area, and I'm still growing.
It's definitely set me up to be the best podiatrist that I could be. Having that support so early on, three years later, you're able to confidently work on your own. You have that foundation. Yeah, it's definitely it's been helpful. It's been really a lifesaver.
I think the Pioneer Podiatry internship is well suited to that podiatrist that wants to be a confident all-rounder. If you want to be part of a team, if you want to work as a team, it's a fun place to work, then this is the job for you.
I think this internship would be suitable for someone who likes to work in a team.
I really think this internship would be suited for someone who wants that support around them, wants a structured program to start their career, and wants to work with a really cool team too.
I believe the internship was probably most suited towards people who are just feeling like they want to be taught, and they want to have that supportive start to their career. You don't have to be the top of your class. You don't have to be that straight A student, that high distinction student. I definitely wasn't. I did feel a little bit like I was in over my head walking into a biomechanics, complex injuries, foot pain focused clinic, but walking into it knowing I was going to have that support as well allowed me to actually become a professional in that area. My confidence grew. Biomechanics was not my best subject, but now biomechanics and foot pain is my specialty area. It's what I feel most confident in. You just need to be someone who's willing to learn and someone who's open-minded. It's a fun environment. If you want to work in a fun environment, not a more serious environment, there's lots of fun, there's lots of banter. It was the best job that I've ever walked into. It was really fun. It was supportive. It was like a family, and then you just get to learn a whole ton on top of that. So, yeah.
So I would definitely recommend this internship for new graduates.
Yeah, I really recommend this internship. It's a great start to start your career and get the ball rolling, and definitely worth it.
Yes, I would definitely recommend this internship to new grads. I've learned so much as a podiatrist, as a new grad, and I'm feeling that I'm gaining confidence in areas where I wasn't confident in, and I'm just really fortunate that I can have a place here at Pioneer Podiatry.
I would definitely recommend this internship for graduates, 100%. It's a wonderful opportunity. It will change your life and your career, and you will grow so much. After this experience, you will be a different person.
Yes, definitely. I couldn't have expected a better entrance into my career, a better start to it. Yes.
I wholeheartedly recommend this internship to new graduates. I completed this program nearly 7 years ago, and I solely believe that this basis and this foundation made me the podiatrist I am today. And I'm incredibly thankful for that.
I'm gonna cry. No, that's cool. That's awesome, Zoe. I think I want to apply for this job, Zoe. It sounds so great.
Phil, it's a bloody good job.
It is a bloody good job, isn't it?
It
Oh.
is.
Yeah. Okay, catch you later.